Hello and welcome to Mirrorverse Education. Today we're subtracting rational numbers. Simplify the following expression, 1/2 minus negative 2 1/4. This is really asking what happens when we take away negative 2 1/4 from 1/2. We'll look at this on a number line starting at 1/2. So when we do this subtraction of a negative number, it feels a little bit strange because when you subtract a positive number, you walk down a number line. Negatives have the opposite effect. So if I'm subtracting negatives, I actually need to go up the number line. So let's picture each of these intervals on the number line representing 1/4, and we need to go up 2 1/4 jumps. So let's start with our quarter jump and then 2 full jumps of 4/4. And here we have actually subtracted negative 2 1/4. We end up landing on 2 3/4. 1/2 minus negative 2 1/4 equals 2 3/4. Reminder, and this is such an important fact, it's an inverse relationship between subtracting and adding. What we know is that subtracting a number is exactly the same as adding its opposite. So number lines are fantastic resources, but let's see if we can just use this relationship to solve the problem without a visual. So I write my expression. Right now I have 1/2 minus negative 2 1/4, but let's just go ahead and use the inverse relationship between subtraction and addition and rewrite this as an addition problem. So we would write 1/2 plus positive 2 1/4. Okay, we're actually on track to have a pretty easy problem. We just need to make sure that the denominators that we have common denominators in our two fractions. So I know 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. So let's rewrite the expression as 2/4 plus 2 1/4. Okay, I'm going to add those 2/4 to the 1/4 and see that I have 2 wholes and 3/4, just like before. So two different ways of seeing that 1/2 minus negative 2 1/4 equals 2 3/4. Okay, let's try out some decimals. Simplify the following expression, negative 15 8/10 minus negative 3 2/10. What we're wondering really is what happens when we take negative 3 2/10 away from negative 15 8/10. Let's see if we can speed up this process just by using that same inverse relationship between adding and subtracting from our previous example. Subtracting a number is the same as adding its opposite. So I'll start with my original subtraction expression and rewrite it as an addition expression. Notice though that when I change from subtracting to adding, I also need to replace my negative 3 2/10 with its opposite, positive 3 2/10. Okay, so I am really actually seeing, okay, I'm going to go up 3 2/10, starting at negative 15 8/10. It might be a little bit tricky to visualize, so I'm actually going to break negative 15 8/10 up into some smaller pieces to see if I can find the opposite of 3 2/10 kind of hidden in there. So if I think of negative 15 8/10 as two parts, one part that is negative 12 6/10 and another part that is negative 3 2/10, I set myself up for an opportunity to get rid of some of this expression. The negative 3 2/10 can combine with the positive 3 2/10 to give me 0. They're opposites. I don't even need to worry about them anymore. And all that I'm left with is negative 12 6/10, which is the answer to this problem. I've simplified the expression as much as possible. So what we see is that negative 15 8/10 minus negative 3 2/10 is negative 12 6/10. So hopefully you had a chance to look at a couple of different examples of subtracting rational numbers, and you can see that we get to be flexible, we get to play with numbers, we get to use their properties to make things as easy as possible for us. You can always check out mirrorverseeducation.com for more resources and more help, and we hope to see you again. Thanks!